What's going on, people? Tonight, we're going to talk about becoming successful and the layers to success. Because one of the big issues that we have online is we have a lot of people who are trying to become successful on crib notes. They're trying to become successful by cheating. They're trying to become successful by taking the quickest path possible. And I'm here to tell you that's just not going to be the case. I'm here to tell you that there is no cheat code for success. Even successful criminals work hard. And this is one of the things. So, we're going to talk about the first layer of success because there are many, many layers. And you've got people who are looking for quick, fast, easy solutions to complicated problems. This is a complicated problem. You are a normal person, you have a job, have been indoctrinated in the American lifestyle, which is to be debt ridden. So for you to move forward for success, you're going to have to get to something. And this is a huge, huge problem. Like, you got many people out here who don't want to commit to nothing. They don't want to commit to anything. They want to, quote, keep their options open. And the big part of success is you're going to have to commit to something. When I started this YouTube channel, I committed to making YouTube videos. I committed to the process. I committed to, and let me go ahead and just tell you, back in the day, uploading a YouTube video was a process. Let me go ahead and first you had to film the video. Then you had to edit it. And I didn't have Apple software back then. I didn't have Macs. I had a Toshiba satellite laptop that whenever I was rendering videos, it would get so hot that it would like, and it would click because it would turn off and I would have to wait until it cooled down to finish processing the video. The video couldn't be that long and the video could only be so big. Now you could literally upload an 8-hour long video to YouTube. It wasn't back then in the day. So then I had to use this software called Handbrake to reduce the size of the video file so I could upload it to YouTube. And it took me 12 to 14 hours to do this. And I was doing this 5 to 7 times a week. And it was a huge commitment because, right now, putting a video on YouTube is super easy. You can do it from your phone. You couldn't do this back in the day. And this live streaming, I remember when YouTube Hangouts came about that, Brett, he was one of the first ones to do YouTube Hangouts and YouTube put him in a commercial. And then they got rid of YouTube Hangouts and they got rid of Google Plus. But you got to, because see, this is what a commitment, like, let's talk about marriage. You meet a girl, you decide to get married and you commit to this woman. It is that commitment that is going to carry you through the ups and downs. It is that commitment that's going to make sure that you show up each and every day and put your best foot forward. Without that commitment, like Pamela Lee Anderson married this dude for 12 days because he paid her bills and then she divorced him. There was no commitment there. There was no commitment whatsoever. So one of the things is you've got to commit to something. And this is something that we as humans find to be really hard, and it's a challenge to do. Because like when I wrote my first book, I had to commit to writing every day, whether I felt like it or not. Every day I was writing this book, wrote my outline, and I'm getting ready to write another book for the Disruptive Male channel. You know, one of the biggest things that you're going to have to do is look at because let's go ahead and talk about the problem that you have right now, which is a very complicated problem. You don't have enough income. Why is that? Your social programming, your family background, society, your choice of friends, your choice of mates, all of this factors into your income. And then you're like, what? If you hang around a bunch of people who make high income, they're going to push you and spur you to make more money. Like this happened to me, and because I had a good circle of friends. I had started my new office furniture selling business, and it wasn't going well. I was making sales, but I wasn't making money. And I went ahead and took an interview at Orkin. Got the job, and the guy was telling me I was going to have to get rid of the mustache and the goatee. Yes, yours truly was that close to being the Orkin man. And I called my boy Mario and I told him, and Mario clowned me. You gonna be the Orkin man? And he called his business partner in, and they both clowned me. And I never took that job at Orkin. You know, I didn't show up for orientation, and I worked harder, and I made my business a success. See, this is what happens when you have this kind of environment. They pushed me. Well, if you're an Orkin's person, you'll never see an Orkin exterminator with a mustache. That's in their rule books. But the environment that I had kept me on the path. Like if you got friends that, you know, it's like you're working on your business, and it's like, hey, I gotta work on my business tonight. And it's like, no, man, come on out and drink and smoke with us. That's not the proper environment for you to be successful. Now someone has roaches because of you. That was a long, long time ago. But once again, one of the reasons that it is so hard for you to make more money is you have all of these mental obstacles, social programming, your friends, your environment, your home life. Like if you're in a bad marriage, that can prevent you from making a lot of money. That can stop you from doing what you need to do to become successful, because the bad marriage sucks so much energy out of your life. It sucks so much energy out of what you're doing. Yeah, you know, it's funny. You make a good point. I haven't seen a president in my lifetime with a mustache. You know, because Orkin was like, you got to get rid of the mustache, you got to get rid of the goatee. And it was in their employee handbook. So if I took the job, I was going to have to do that. Because once again, one of the reasons that so many people struggle is social programming. Like this fool we had here the other night who was telling me to stop eating because it takes away from my message. And then he got hostile when I checked him. See, one of the things you're dealing with social programming is that there's only certain ways you can make money. And this is an environmental cause. Like many kids who grow up poor, there's a kid out there right now who's 15, 12 years old. He's a high school football star, and he thinks football is his ticket. He doesn't know that he can be an engineer. He doesn't know that he can be a business owner. He doesn't know that he can buy the team. He doesn't know this. Everything he sees supports him being a football star and getting to the NFL. That's his ticket. There are no other pathways. And right now you got many people who, once again, feel that there's no way that they can be successful. Jake from State Farm. Hey, Bull, that's funny. But there are many people who feel like, let's talk about poverty culture, the culture of poverty. Like I'm doing, I haven't gotten around to making a course, but I was dealing with sugar babies. And I see why these girls are in desperate need of money. They have so many bad habits. Number one bad habit, communication. They don't know how to communicate. Like I will email a girl and it'll be 5 or 6 days before she gets back to me. That, because with my assistant, we were working on reaching out for some promotions, and the professional people got back like that. They don't get back to you. Like there was this one girl I was supposed to meet. She, we set it up, and she just got ghosted. You think that I'm the only one that she's doing like that? No, she does a lot of things in her life like that. Lack of commitment, lack of proper communication. And then she kind of screamed at me, she's like, hey, good morning. Like 4 days later, like nothing happened. She's accustomed to being trifling. This is one of the things that you will see on the lower social economic strata. Bad habits. Very bad habits. As they watch Micto videos and porno all day long, they think they can't win or women will steal their money. You know what Erica was so wild about that? Most of these dudes have no money to steal. They have nothing. One of Biggie's lyrics was, when you're from the hood, you're either selling crack rock or you got a wicked jump shot. Wow. That is the poverty mindset. One of the things, thanks for the $2, our roof Ginseng. One of the things that happens with the poverty mindset is it becomes a generational thing. You will see the mom have kids out of wedlock. She'll have female daughters, and they'll have kids out of wedlock because it ain't no big thing. This is what my mama did. This is what my grandma did. I'm going to do it too. It's not a problem. Yeah, I know who Shara is, and I'm the anti-Shara. I teach men how to navigate that female nature. Homie invited me to a strip club. Like, once again, that's how I usually end up in strip clubs, when someone's like, let's go to the strip club, and they go to the ATM and, hey, literally pull this money out and give me the money to give to the stripper. Once again, once you look at the environments, this is why I have a video why I will never live in the hood. The hood, there are many people who glorify the hood. It's like, man, there's love in the hood. People in the hood come together, blah, blah. The hood is full of bad statistics. You could just become, you could be shot for just living in the hood. How many times have we heard that grandma got shot or a baby was shot in their bed because they lived in the hood? I mean, the hood is just full of bad statistics. Any thoughts on the predicted 68? Well, more than likely, these kids are going to blow the money. Silky touch aesthetics. The mind is an unbelievable tool, but I realize more and more every day that 75% of the people I encounter just can't understand that hard work, commitment, and being selective about what you focus on. Once again, there are studies coming out that there are many people who don't believe that hard work will improve their lives. See, this is part of the poverty culture. Going to the NFL, going to the NBA, winning the lottery. There are people who have firm beliefs that God, my Lord and Savior, has chosen for me to win the lottery. I'm going to win the lottery. I just got to keep playing. I'm going to win the lottery. That's their retirement plan. Steve Jumps, all the sugar babies have an Instagram page and OnlyFans account in the Cash App. You know, Trish Playtas is the one behind the OnlyFans app. Trish makes money. But once again, with the poverty mindset, with people being who they are, because first of all, you have this culture, and it starts very early with your parents. Let's see. Interesting. I was wondering when Biggie rapped that he didn't want to take to love more, whether he brought his death upon himself or just recognizing the inevitable situation. One of the things with hood culture is that there's going to be this big come up, or I have a lawsuit going on. Silky aesthetics. Yes, these things will take you far. Another thing that's a problematic of ghetto culture, hood culture, is there is no such thing as delayed gratification for these people. And typically, like, I watch a lot of documentaries about prison, people going to prison and stuff. And you know, one of the biggest indicators that if a person's going to be a criminal, low impulse control. I was dating this chick who was fine as all get out, but she could not. I mean, I'm gonna see if I can pull it up. This chick got arrested several times, and if I could pull it up, and I will show you, because you will be like shocked. This chick would normally get out of stuff, right? But because she had low impulse control and she was a hothead, she just kept getting into all types of trouble. She kept getting into stuff. She kept having issues. She had been arrested several times. It was amazing how this person kept getting into all types of trouble. She kept getting into the craziest situations. And that's one of the reasons that I had to get rid of her, is because of that low impulse control. Because these are the people who do drugs. There's so many bad things that come with she's the one in front. This chick that I could find out had been arrested 5 times. Now, typically a chick that looks like that can usually talk her way out of stuff or sweet talk. Not her. She was a rebel. She was crazy. And typically, one of the things that happens is you see these certain indicators like, I shouldn't be hanging out with these people. When I was a kid, the bad kids would look out for the good kids. Like, no, man, you don't need to be smoking this bud. You got a future. They would look out for you. Now they're like, come on in. Power to achieve. Those who waste money on strippers deserve to be broke and poor. I'm not going to say they deserve to be broke and poor, but they're making bad choices. They are. The expat home. The millennials already blew the money because they have not put time in anything. Gen X raising Gen Z will save today. Hard work will return. Honey Bunny, anything done consistently will produce results, good, bad, or indifferent. Let's position ourselves so they can blow the loot on us. Yeah, I mean, you got to have a strategy with your hard work. Silky touch aesthetics. That, and we believe in a society that doesn't believe in personal accountability. Like this stuff that's going on with Gayle King right now, that she asked Lisa Leslie about Kobe's so-called, Kobe went to court over that and was acquitted. So legally it didn't happen. And she brought that up and she pushed on it, and now people mad at her. Now she's like freaking out. Johnny Walton, that's my problem. I like women on the trashy side. Steve Jameson, you got a point. There was this girl on Instagram. Instagram deleted her account and she lost it. She did this video where she was crying, talking about she was a prostitute before Instagram. See, hood culture. Well, first of all, let's get down to the roots of it. Hood culture dictates that you ain't gonna live that long. Something gonna happen. So YOLO, you only live once. We gonna smoke. We gonna drink. We're gonna sell drugs. We're gonna do all this stuff because they have nothing but bad examples. Steve Jameson, I saw Robert Kraft, the owners of the Patriots, get caught in the prostitution sting. See, once again, you got people who are playing outside of their element. Robert Kraft has enough money where that should have never happened. He should have had a hoe on call. But once again, hood culture, ghetto culture is steeped in mythology. It's steeped in bad advice. It's steeped in bad examples. Like the other day when I did the video talking about the married woman with the business and a successful family, she had 5 kids by her husband. That's strange to a lot of people in the hood. But to have some girl named Shaniqua who have 5 kids by 5 different dudes, that's normal. Hood culture is predicated on dysfunction. And this is why I speak out against it. Like I was talking about my experiences with some black women. And I did say some because all black women are not like that. And someone came in, oh, you bashing black women. These are valid, true experiences I had with ghetto ass women. This was truth. It ain't bashing. That's my experience. And this is one of the reasons that black folks are dead last, because we keep having these folks like, well, it didn't happen. Well, that didn't happen, man. Because, you're being unkind to black folks. I remember growing up in the neighborhood, when you did something messed up, folks would tell you about yourself to your face. I don't call that being bad to black folks. You know, it's like bashing black women. These are the experiences I had. I had one chick, you know, you do a YouTube channel, you wrote a book, and she was completely flipped. Like I was selling drugs on Disruptive Mail. I did a video talking about drug dealers have no problem getting girlfriends. And these chicks know what these dudes are doing. They know. And they still allow them to put their dang-a-lang up in them. They still allow them to live with them. They still allow them to drive their cars. They still allow them to stash drugs in their apartments. But I'm doing a YouTube channel and I sell books, and that's strange. That's strange. Sarah Holly, that's the point I was getting to. They don't think they won't live that long. That's usually why they don't plan for the future. Most pretty women have low IQ. That's not true, man. A lot of pretty women have not had to develop themselves because of all the simps who bow down and just do all kinds of gyrations because they're pretty. Honey Bunny. The other thing about hood culture is a breeding ground for untreated mental health issues. Even a person with a strong mind can be whittled down to nothing if they stay in the hood too long. Pretty much. It's a bad environment. Living on your own. That video should be on the channel. You had experiences. Kevin Samuels had, and multiple guys with no experience with women bashing. That's whack. And I wasn't really bashing. I just stated that they acted strange. I did not really go off on them. I mean, there's a lot of pretty intelligent women. Pluto, Maine. What's your opinion on Buy Back the Hood? This is what I have. This is my opinion, because have you ever noticed that most of the hood, even when it goes through gentrification, it stays the hood? These hood elements are very hard to root out. Like I had a friend. He was living in Midtown. The Midtown is going through massive gentrification. Midtown was known for the gay residents, gay pride, and it's gone through a lot of change. But Midtown still has hood elements. It's just very expensive. And a friend that lived in Midtown, and one of the homeless people would pee on his stoop, but he wouldn't pee across the street because he's like, well, you know, I could pee over here. You ain't gonna do nothing to me. If I pee over there, I might get arrested. Hood culture. Drake Chap, same thing. He didn't go to jail. He didn't go to jail. She wouldn't testify. So in the grand thing of life, it didn't happen. Steve Jameson, I've seen a few of those videos where these guys push back on Kevin because they caught up in their feelings. I just did a video talking about how to become more masculine for the men who are feminine. Ignorance run things. When you know better, you do better. And this is one of the things that happened to me, because once again, I preach hard work. I preach commitment, because the first layer of success is committing to something. And this is something that a lot of people from hood culture just simply cannot do. They can't commit to nothing. Like one of the things that has happened, and this is because of, instant pay, like Uber. I did Uber for 6 weeks and you got paid once a week. Uber has it now where if you drive that night, you can pull your money that down from that day. And McDonald's has it where people can get paid daily. I'm just like, what has happened to society? Guys be 5'5", 300 pounds, talking about women won't give them a chance on Kevin's video. Gentrification, man, once again, like this neighborhood I live in, it's always been wealthy from day one. And you will look across certain parts of town, across the nation that have always been wealthy, well-to-do, and it's just different over there. In the areas that go to gentrification, all of a sudden you got white women jogging at 1 o'clock in the morning and stuff. It's still a hood. It still has hood elements. The expat home, Jackie Anna. I just found her the other day. She's really hilarious. Sarah Holly, really? DoorDash? BK Pro, get it fast, spin it fat. Folks so broke they need it daily. And this is one of the reasons that everybody needs the 5 checking accounts, because it all starts with money management, which is a big problem in the hood. This is why there's all these check cashing stores, because these people in the hood don't have banking accounts, or they have online quasi banks. J98, I don't own any properties. I'm sitting out waiting for real estate to chill in Atlanta because it's gotten crazy. Really, Honey Bunny, that's interesting. They need that money for gas to keep driving for Uber. I mean, I emailed Kevin. I said, you doing the Lord's work, because a lot of it is foolishness. Because once again, hood culture doesn't give you good skills, and many people aspire for hood rich. Hood rich means, personal appearance. You can look like whatever, dress whatever, you still make money. Quincy Jackson, I mean, to be fair, most of the guys on Kevin's channel never ever had a masculine figure around them to balance all this female energy they're exposed to. So basically, they get their point of view. Oh, I talked about that on Disruptive Male tonight. Well, let's go ahead and talk about the men with unrealistic expectations. When you begin to understand, and this is something, this comes from the hood, because there are many guys who feel that they got a chick, she got a place, they're living with the chick, they're driving their car. That's a come up. They feel that that's being successful. And one of the things that I preach is a man must have his own. Any chick that I live with, she's going to be living with me because I'm going to have the house. Because I remember I was living with this chick and my name wasn't on the lease. And technically I was homeless. And when her 21-year-old bum of a son moved in with us, our relationship, and we never had fights or nothing like this, but her 21-year-old son, who was a lazy bum, and last time I checked, he got a chick pregnant and they moved in. So this lazy bum and the dog. So essentially, I had to move. I lost my girlfriend. I lost my house. I lost Oscar the dog. And I said, never again will I be in this position. And I haven't been in that position since. As a man, you need to have your own. As a man, you need to do your own thing. And one of the things with hood culture is, and as somebody talked about the feminine energy, these dudes were raised by their mothers. They go to school. They're indoctrinated by female teachers. They go to college. They're indoctrinated by more female teachers. And they never, ever learn how to be a man. They never. I know cats who don't even have gas money, and some homies have high six figures in the banks. Good Lord. Silky Touch aesthetics. Once again, this comes from the lack of understanding finance. Um, Byron Allen said there's $22 trillion available for people to get money if they know how to access it. And these folks don't. Eric Williams, a lot of them had a dad just not in the home. J98, do you think rap music has generally a good or bad impact on people living in the hood? It's pretty much the only music I listen to, but I'm white middle class. It depends on what type of rap you listen to. Like Chance the Rapper, his rap is uplifting. J. Cole. So it isn't, quote, rap music. It's the type of rap music. Like in Atlanta, they got this music called trap music, which is based upon selling drugs. That's not helpful. That's harmful. That kind of rap music is harmful. The expert. Wealth is a mindset. You know, on the Jeffree Stars and the Charles, YouTube pushes gayness. If you're gay or trans, your channel will blow up. It's one of the craziest things I've seen, because I've seen so many people who were, quote, transitioning, and they talk about their transitioning journey, and the channel just blows up. There was this one who used to call herself your favorite trans fairy godmother. I mean, once again, Jeffree Star, all of these male fashion people, YouTube pushes a gay agenda. To be honest about it, they really do. Because if it's gay, it's going to blow up. If it's trans, it's going to blow up. And really, gay people and trans people make up only a small percent of society. Cats be red. Well, how do we access it? You start a business. You start an LLC. You start managing your money correctly, and you put yourself in a position where you can go to the bank and get this money. There is a sequence of events you have to do. You have to, one, have good credit. Number two, have to know to apply for credit. Number three, know how to talk to bankers. There's so many people who disregard that. They're like, one of my consulting clients, he was so much work because he had a $3 million a year business, and he only had one checking account, and he ran everything out of that. And I was like, you run your payroll out of this one checking account? He said, yeah, we've had a few issues. I imagine so. Your payroll money needs to be put, because let's just keep it real. People will revolt if their payroll check bounced. And he told me a situation where payroll checks bounced, and he had to go to the bank and get these people cash money. I was like, well, you're never going to do that again, because we're going to segment your payroll account. We're going to segment your merchant account. And so many people who do really well, but they reach a ceiling because of the lack of knowledge. And that's cats be read. Because see, once again, this stuff ain't difficult, but it takes delayed gratification. Like to put yourself in position for $1 million loan, it's going to take you 3 to 5 years of making proper decisions over that 3 to 5 years and doing certain things and running your business like you want to sell it, keeping good books, keeping good numbers. You know, so many people want to access great and grand things with little to no effort. And the world doesn't work that. Usually large money comes with large effort. And you got so many people who will just put their finger on the scale and that's enough. And no, you need to jump on the scale. Jake Almighty, appreciate that. Turf, once again, you get the book, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. Go ahead and get that book. Your subconscious mind operates on a different level. So when you're listening to, like, one of the reasons that I don't listen to a lot of rap music is the prolific use of the N word. And as you know, on this channel, we don't allow this word. If you leave a comment and I will delete it, because how can you be powerful and uplifting using that word? It has negative connotations, but there are so many rappers that is literally generously, because I was just sitting there like, do these record companies have a certain number of the usage of the N word in these songs? Because it was like every other word. And that is programming. So when you listen to this kind of music, it creates bad outcomes because you as a human can be programmed for good or bad. Your subconscious mind doesn't care. It takes information in and acts on it. Like one of the things I hate to see is when I drive through poor neighborhoods, grown men just standing around doing nothing. They're just hanging out, not gainfully employed. I hate seeing that because this is where trouble starts. Well, we just hanging around. Well, let's go here and rob the store. This is how this stuff starts. Funny thing, YouTube pushes this, but guess who wins? The gay people win. Like Jeffree Star, there's another one who blew up overnight. He's a gay as he wants to be. There's another one who came out, Shane Dawson. He supposedly is bisexual, and he did a video talking about that, and the video got like 10 million views. And I'm just sitting here like, why are all these videos about gayness and trans just blowing up? And the YouTube algorithm pushes that. If I start a channel and I start talking like this, if I started a channel and pretended to be gay, it would do better than this channel. That's the social programming that's going on. All these guns, happy gamers, happy families, and Christians still winning. Well, America likes families. So this is one of the reasons that family-oriented channels just explode. Exist in nature. Women follow gays. Yeah, that's true. Honey bunny, garbage in, garbage out. Folks don't realize what they listen to, watch YouTube, and their own inner voice can make or break you. Guard your mind from things that don't align with the life you want. Absolutely. Quincy Jackson, facts. Or you could just sit at a table and promote obesity in the form of mute banging and get millions of views, or speak the truth and get about 12. Pretty much. Shortchange. I read in the article that obese people are taken less seriously in business and position of power. You really won't see that at Google or Facebook, these high paying jobs. Those guys are going to be small and trim. Good Lord, honey bunny. That's crazy. Steve Jameson, I believe that to be true. There's a movement to feminize men and masculinize women. Master Your Business TV. I'm a true hip hop head and was born and raised in Atlanta. And I always looked at trap music as basically trash, because it is. It really is. Well, congratulations, Mike Ely. Because, one of the big things is, and this is why so many people struggle, bad habits and the lack of the proper information. Because making more money is simple, but yet it's hard, because you have to do the correct thing for many years to really get it going, which means no hanging out, no smoking, no drug habits, no alcoholism, because there are people who literally get trashed every weekend and they wonder why they're no further ahead in life. Eric Williams, I work with a personal trainer because I have to speak on stage at multiple events this year. Plus, it limits who you can attract. Master your body, master your mind. Hey, just facts. Facts. Because one of the things that hood culture promotes that is very detrimental. Remember the movie Soul Food, and remember Big Mama. This is something that happened. It was an expectation that you would become Big Mama if you were a woman. It was an expectation that you would get older and fatter. This was the norm. And then you talk about soul food, and the food was cooked with love and all this other stuff. And the reality is that this was teaching people bad habits. Pretty much. Shortchange. I met many gym rats who have bad jobs but on point bodies. They're the reverse Instagram girls. Third culture. Some cultures equate your ability to master your body with your ability to master other aspects of your life and will treat you accordingly. Absolutely. Absolutely. One of the big things that happens with hood culture is with the children. It introduces them to many bad habits. Like, let's just go back to the single mom. Like, these people are criticizing this woman who's married, who has a business, who has 5 children by one man. A single mom who has 5 kids, 2-3 jobs, they will not criticize because, oh, she's so brave. She worked so hard. She made a choice to sit down and get pregnant. It wasn't like someone put a gun in their head and said, have these babies. She made a choice. And people are afraid to speak out on bad choices. Oh yeah. Bad eating habits are horrible. Food was made with lard, not love. So once again, there are many layers to being success, and the first layer is commitment, which many people on the lower economic social strata, they just can't do it. Like, one of my big pet peeves is I hate it when people are late. And people on the lower are always late. They don't value their time. They don't value your time. Erica, thanks for the $20. Wrong. Soul food, majority of soul food is plant-based because most folks lived on farms, had chicken, mac and cheese on Sunday after church. Most ate a lot of beans, greens, and veggies. We soul food historically wrong. Well, I'm here to tell you what, like, there's a few restaurants in Latonia, and the food is delicious. It'll just kill you. There's This Is It, soul food. They have all that bad stuff. There's another place. They actually cook the food and run out. So historically, well, let's go back to the 60s. We didn't have all these obese people in the 60s. Why? Because they ate organic food. And right now, people are eating a lot of processed food, which has a negative effect on your body. Because, like, I look at my older videos when I was 30 pounds heavier, and, I was lifting weights and I was really strong as a bull, but I was eating wrong and I was eating bad. And that's why I had a heart attack. This is the reality of it. And I had to change that, because typically when I eat, I try to eat more real food. And I've lost, like I said, 30 pounds and I've kept it off. I mean, this is one of the things that when I had employees, that was an issue that people, because once again, to be successful, you got to prepare to be successful. And if you know it takes you an hour to get to your job, that means you got to wake up at a certain time. And people just don't want to do it. They just don't want to do it. Don Leno, oh my God, folks not valuing time. And typically when I'm dating someone, that's going to be an issue, because if she can't be on time, she's not going to be my girl. Because this is something that will be a perpetual habit of showing up late. Like, my girl, she can go upstairs and get ready in 15 minutes and we'd be out. But time, value in time, and keeping small commitments. This is something that I saw with the sugar babies. And this becomes a habit. If you're constantly blowing stuff off, you're going to blow off good commitments. So when you look at someone who's poor, look at their behavior. Because right now you have Asian students here who work very hard, and once they graduate college, they're going to be making big money. But they work hard. They show up on time. They take their stuff. They get sleep. They don't stay up partying. They don't do this stuff. Flaunt, it was talked about in the Boondocks. Even after seeing Big Mama die, they kept eating it. Well, Erica, once again, I'm agreeing with you that people had better diets previous to 1980. But we had the proliferation of McDonald's, Burger King, and the single mother epidemic, because a child's eating habits start early. What your parents feed you, because If you have small children, they don't eat a lot. They like to snack little meals. And if you don't really disturb them, because one of the things that would happen is like someone would pile all this food on your plate and you can't get up from the table till you clean up your plate. It was too much food. If you want your kids to have good eating habits, start when they're like between 1 and 6. That sets their eating habits for life. Oh, I don't have any sugar babies. I was just doing an experiment. I was going to do a course. Typically, I would not deal with a sugar baby because the majority of them are trash. They need money and they're going to do anything for money. But once again, they have many of these bad attributes. Yep. Cooking at home isn't happening the way it should. Dialing on brute force. You make a commitment. Like when I was writing my book, I had a deadline. I was like, this book's going to be ready by October. And that was just like, hey, keep digging it. You got to do it. We've had McDonald's since the 1960s. McDonald's, I can tell you since I'm 53 years old, the burgers that I ate as a kid from McDonald's in Burger King was vastly different than what they serve today. I remember the first time I went to Burger King, because the thing is, they flame broil the burgers, so you had to wait. They didn't have this stuff already cooked, so you had to wait. And I remember that first Whopper I had was so juicy, and it was real meat. And they didn't let it sit up there. That your meat was cooked to order, so you would order it and you would wait around 10 minutes while they cooked your burger. It is totally different. The food that McDonald's and Burger King serves today is totally different than what they served when I was a kid. Candace P, it is the parents, because the child's eating habit starts when they're kids. Because when you see this little kid who's already a little porker, that's on the parents. Tracy Stevens, I remember that. Heat lamps. You used to be able to watch them cook it. Yep. Master your business TV. Once you decide to start your own business, you can do whatever you want. But once again, this is one of the reasons that I'm really, because, once I jumped into, the sugar baby sites, because I haven't really dealt with them, quote, from a financial aspect, and I won't deal with them because they're going to be like perpetual children. And a lot of them are scammers. Man, you say something to these moms, you get cussed out. These dads got to say something. The child ain't husky, he fat. Pretty much. Turf, man, that's crazy. Oh no, Ray Kroc didn't chase. This happened recently, in I would say the last 20 years, because the burgers used to be bigger. Remember that commercial? Where's the beef? Even Wendy's burgers used to be bigger. They all used to be bigger because they were real meat and they were real juicy. Today's society lacks patience. Everything has to be now, fast, and convenient. All the things that go against longevity. Pretty much. Like when I go eat out, I go to restaurants that take time to prepare the food. I went to the Buckhead Diner the other day and had spaghetti and meatballs, and it was delicious. It was delicious. Uh, Someone did this X-ray of a fat person and said them bones ain't big. It is kind of funny how these manufacturers play around with sizes. It is funny. Like for any ladies watching, Michael Kors shoes are usually run a size small. So if you wear a 6 or 7, you're probably going to need to get a 7.5 or 8. It's very interesting. The kids are fat, but they have skinny thumbs for playing esports. I used to work at McDonald's. Those patties were weird as hell. You know, back in the day, the food was different. You go to a restaurant, it took a little longer for you to get the food because they had to cook it. Right now, you go to McDonald's, a lot of that stuff is just sitting under the heat lamp. And typically, I really don't go to McDonald's that much because the food is it's been sitting out for a while and it's usually hard as a rock. Someone actually took a McDonald's burger and left it out, and because all the preservatives and stuff in it, the thing didn't spoil. Oh, it's called vanity sizing. Makes you feel small. Really? Ganja? I mean, really, it's very rare that I go to McDonald's. There ain't no such thing as a fat skeleton, which is true. If bugs won't eat it, I won't eat it. Wow. Well, the bugs probably know what's up. Well, once again, everything has changed. You know, because I found myself avoiding a lot of these fast food restaurants for good reason. And the food, once you get used to eating high quality food, good food, everything else tastes like trash. There's a few places I go out to eat out where they actually cook the food. Well, there's a whole bunch of things. Like this dude did this test with cereal boxes. The cereal boxes are the same height, but the boxes are skinnier, but they're charging you the same price that they charge for the bigger box. There's all kinds of game. So once again, you know, we've talked about eating habits, we talked about food, and a lot of this stuff starts when you're small. A lot of this stuff starts when you're small, and this is one of the reasons that when a kid is born in the ghetto, there are so many potential bad outcomes, and that's why everybody wants to throw a party when the kid comes out the ghetto, doesn't get pregnant, goes to college, graduates, and gets a successful career, because the ghetto isn't producing people like that in the abundance. Postmodern gent, I will co-sign on that because when I eat something bad, I get gas. Pretty much. Bad money habits really start early. So once again, you know, one of the things is the first layer of success is commitment. You must commit to things and stick with them even when they get a little difficult. And this is one of the things that doesn't happen. Like, go with the sugar babies. They can't communicate well. I mean, I've had several of them get back to me 2, 3, 4, 5 days later, or just straight up lie, or I mean, just a lot of bad habits that are not going to make them successful long term. And if you look at a person who's poor, look at their habits, look at how they're living, look at how they do things, and it will tell you a lot. Well, that's all I have for you guys tonight. So, you know, on the 15th, we're going to start with some more training, just letting you guys know. So if you're on the email list, you will be alerted to that. So with that, you folks have a good night. I will see you later.